of activity in the web advertising area with WPP's acquisition, Google and DoubleClick, and so on. What do you see happening in that area?
Well, I think the internet advertisement had a few years which was really very, very difficult. And then you came, Overture and Google came out with new forms of advertisement, text-based advertisements, which have been working really well. The problem with that is not very good for branding. So what you see now is the next, now you see that rich ads are coming back in fashion. So that's why that's why you see all these acquisitions. But I think what's even more interesting is video ads on the internet. That's to me the big opportunity.
And why is it such a big opportunity?
Because you can combine, TV advertisement is the biggest advertisement medium, but the problem with it is it's very poor targetability, it's very poor reporting, and there's no interactivity. So combining TV ads with the benefits of internet for targeting, reporting, and interactivity, you get much better effect of those ads, and you can do brand building and call to action.
And how far do you think the balance will shift towards user-generated content?
Well, I think there's there's a lot of interest in user-generated content. I think there's a lot of to say for professionally created content, and I think what we will see a new type of professionally created content, which are created much more smaller, independent professionals. And you think about, if you think about what's happening with blogging. It's a lot of amateur bloggers, and some of them become very, very successful. So they, basically become professional. And you have a lot of professional editors who start doing blogging. I think you will see the same thing with video.
And more generally, how do you see internet video developing?
I think that what you will see is that internet video or internet television, whatever you call it, I think what you will see is you're going to see much more of a combination of television and video. But what you also are seeing actually now a lot of experimentation. You're starting to see live video feeds on the internet. People can use broadcast live with a mobile phone, for example. You will see high quality professional TV style video delivered, and of course you will continue to see user generated content as well.
Are we now seeing the beginning of the end of network television?
Well, I think it's like you will have an internet video or internet television, whatever you call it, as a complementary service to traditional television. And I think it's going to take a very long time until you see that's completely being replaced, if ever.
Are the traditional TV companies being quick enough to respond?
Well, I think what happened now is that pretty much everyone is understanding and realizing that the internet is here to stay, and the internet is actually a tremendous opportunity for them. So they're all pretty much want to work with the opportunities on the internet. And I think they actually are pretty much in sync actually with the internet companies.
Despite some of the conflicts that we've seen between YouTube and the content providers?
So what happened is that you have obviously the existing media companies needing to negotiate with internet companies. And it's, of course, difficult to do that at the same time that they feel that their content is being pirated. So there's also opportunities for them to work with companies who are protecting their copyright.
And will that be something that Juiced will be particularly successful at?
So when Juiced was created, it was very much with content providers and advertisers and, of course, consumers in mind. So it was built with an infrastructure from the beginning that could protect the copyrights of the content companies.
Will that be Juiced's competitive edge over a company like YouTube?
I think today it's certainly a differentiator where YouTube is, of course, a fantastic success. Is very focused on user-generated content, but it also means that there are content that users are just uploading from TV shows and others without the consent of the media companies, while Juice is working with the media companies in mind. So far, Juice has been able to have a lot of success in making deals with media companies.
And how do the more traditional media companies respond to that kind of an approach? Are they happy to enter into discussions?
Yeah, they are happy to do that because, and this is something that I have first-hand experience. Janus and I started a company called Kazaa many years ago, which was just a bit too early for the content company. We wanted to work with them, but it was just too early for them. And now, now it's much more better timing. So now, when you work with them and you take their concerns in mind, you find it very, very productive to work together.
Do you think that Second Life and similar virtual worlds are a serious ongoing thing or a passing trend? And how much should people be exploring business opportunities in that space?
What's interesting with the virtual worlds, because if you compare usage, there are not that many people who are actually using those services, but the level of interactivity is much, much deeper than you see on other services on the internet. So people who are actually using something like Second Life are engaging a lot with them, spending a lot of hours, and you have so much things happening on them, and you have a lot of serious players putting in things on Second Life. The Sweden's going to have an embassy on Second Life, for example, and you have all those things happening. But these are things that have gone. This is not something new, actually. This kind of virtual worlds. I remember I tried out a virtual world 10 years ago on a dial-up modem. So it's gone a long way. But I think if we wait another 10 years or so, of course, these are going to evolve much, much more. So far, I think it's still very, very experimental. It's not something that's going to kind of transform how we interact with each other.
Thank you very much. And now, Niklas Zennstrom places his bets on